Hi guys, at number 2 for the top ELSS mutual funds for the year 2018-19. As I had mentioned earlier also, we have a fund whose success can be largely attributed to the credibility of the fund manager and his expertise in running the fund, L&T Tax Advantage, run by S.N. Lahiri. So the fund was incepted somewhere around February 2006, and so the fund has covered quite a duration and has quite a track record. So apart from that, what we are going to do is drill down to the top 3 reasons that has helped this fund make it to the top cut. The number 1 reason that has helped L&T Tax Advantage make it to the top cut is the fund manager S.N. Lahiri's impeccable stock picking ability. So Lahiri typically follows a fluid approach. He invests in high conviction stocks. His conviction is based on a few basic parameters, which include a very good and high quality management team, 2, very strong predictability of cash flows, and number 3, a certain degree of market dominance and competitive edge. With all of these things coming together, S.N. Lahiri typically picks out the winners of the lot. So Lahiri as a fund manager has been driving and spearheading this fund totally. He has been able to manage the asset allocation, market cap allocation of the fund in a very clean manner with just approximately 10% exposure to small cap stocks, which really insulates the fund against higher volatility which comes with the smaller market caps, but at the same time generate very good returns for investors. Reason number 2 that has actually helped L&T Tax Advantage move up the ranks in our ELSS ranking is its performance. So L&T Tax Advantage as a fund has typically performed consistently for a very long period, that is almost 12 years now since its inception in 2006. And what is more interesting is the way it has performed. It has been outperforming its index and category for almost the entire duration since its inception. Now what is more interesting is the way it performed during the market crisis of 2008 and 11. If we take a closer look at the numbers, the fund has definitely outperformed the index as well as the category in these troubled times, and not only that, it has reflected very good downside containment abilities. So the fund all in all has been performing very well, and even on a risk adjusted basis, the fund has given one of the highest risk adjusted returns. So like I always say, returns in isolation makes no sense. What really matters is the amount of returns a fund generates for every unit of risk taken. And by this parameter, definitely L&T Tax Advantage emerges as one of the top performers in the segment. Reason number 3 that has really helped L&T Tax Advantage make it to the top cut is Lahiri's classic style of managing fund with a very fluid and benchmark agnostic approach. The fund in itself reflects no real bias towards sectors or market cap. Speaking of market cap, close to 45% of the portfolio is held in small and mid cap stocks. But what's more interesting is 35% of this is into mid cap stocks. Lahiri has been typically known for taking very good qualitative bets on mid cap stocks, and this has been playing out really well since the past 10 years that has passed. At the same time, the larger proportion of large cap stocks really insulates it from the sharp downturn that mid cap and small cap stocks typically face. The fund, speaking about sectors, the fund has been underweight on financial services and reasonably overweight on services. But what is more peculiar is its overweight on construction. Construction as a sector is not really in vogue right now, but upon taking a deeper look into the portfolio, the underlying stocks within the sector clearly reflect the classic parameters that Lahiri looks out for: a strong management team, a strong visibility of cash flow, and a certain competitive edge. So having said that, the portfolio is well diversified and the portfolio manages through volatility, and that is clearly reflected in the performance as we had discussed in the earlier reason. Now that we have taken a look at the top 3 reasons that has pushed L&T Tax Advantage into the top rankings, let's take a closer look at the things to watch out for in this particular fund. So upon taking a closer look, there is no real red flag except for one, a key person risk. Lahiri seems to steer the entire ship, and he being the only person who holds command over this entire fund. So the fund typically faces a risk in case of a fund manager change, and that is something investors should be wary about. So guys, now that we have discussed the top 3 reasons that really put L&T Tax Advantage onto the map as the top ELSS mutual fund in India for the year 2018-19, this fund is typically a go-to fund for anyone who is looking for a well-diversified fund with not much of a market risk and at the same time the ability to deliver consistent and sustainable returns. So L&T Tax Advantage is a fund to go for anyone looking to build long-term wealth along with some tax advantage. And obviously, the easiest way to invest in L&T Tax Advantage is through your MyWay app. So all you need to do is fire your MyWay app and click on Save Tax. The best time to save tax is now, and the best way to do it is through your MyWay app.